It looked different. It smelled different. It tasted different. It had practically nothing.
Today I'm taking you to a place you most assuredly have heard of, but never been to. Through the greatest American television show ever made. With every original thought, a lesson to be learned. And with every fight for innovation, riches beyond imagination. Hold on tight as we sail through the black and white ocean of the past into the Twilight Zone. Well, hello. My name is Red Alexander Hamilton, and I am an artist from Houston, Texas, and I'm so happy that you're here. Today, we are going to talk about one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes called the Rip Van Winkle Caper. For those who aren't familiar with the original story, Rip Van Winkle is an old folklore tale about a lazy man who retreats into the mountains to avoid work on his farm and his nagging wife. There, he comes across a group of men who offer him a drink. He accepts and falls asleep for 20 years. Once he wakes up, he realizes the world has changed dramatically. This episode is basically a mixture of the original folklore and that train robbing episode from Breaking Bad. It starts off with a group of criminals offloading $1 million worth of gold bricks they had just stolen from a train going from Fort Knox to LA. Remember, this episode took place in the 60s, so don't worry, I did the inflation math and it's over $8 million in today's prices. The four criminals are Mr. Farwell, who is basically Walter White in this episode. He used to be a chemistry professor. He's a genius who specializes in noxious gas. There's Mr. Brooks, an expert in firearms. Mr. Irby, an expert in mechanical engineering, but don't worry, you're not going to get too familiar with him. And Mr. DeCruz, an expert in demolition.
Down! Oh, man, you're a heavy little thing. Are there any more at home like you?
All right, gentlemen. Procedure as follows. The gold in the cave, and Mr. De Cruz will destroy the vehicles.
Okay, funny boy. Come on.
And I also don't mean to give this episode any shade, especially this early on in the episode. Like I said before, this is one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. So I just think that it's funny that they have this huge moving truck for a dolly amount of bags of gold. I understand it's just a plot device and the amount of gold doesn't actually showcase the true amount they've stolen, but it is still kind of funny. After they are done putting the gold in the cave, that's when they move on to their next plan. To avoid suspicion, they will get inside one of these glass chambers that will pour gases over them, where they will fall into a state of suspended animation for 100 years. And when they wake up, they can spend the gold as freely as they desire.
It is one thing, gentlemen, to stop a train on its way from Fort Knox to Los Angeles and steal its cargo. It's another thing to remain free to spend it. And spend it we shall.
Yeah, but when?
Don't you know, Mr. De Cruz? I would have thought that this aspect of the plan would be particularly clear in your mind.
De Cruz, which you will learn shortly enough, is the episode's antagonist. He fights back against Mr. Farwell's plan, telling everyone they should just take the gold and take their chances. But then Brooks pulls out a knife and says that Mr. Farwell was right about everything so far, even the noxious gas they put through the train that made everyone pass out and how easy the gold was to steal.
None of your mind being helpless and closed up in these? No, Mr. De Cruz. None of us mind.
So they all lay down in the chambers and Mr. Farwell explains the instructions and how when they wake up, it will be 100 years into the future. Once they wake up, they initially believe nothing worked since they didn't have beards or their fingernails didn't grow. Mr. Farwell argues back and says that it had to have worked.
Must have worked. It was foolproof.
all the body functions stopped. There wouldn't be any growth of beard or nails or anything else. I tell you, it worked.
They opened the cave door and noticed the road beside the cave still existed. But then they realize Mr. Irby hasn't awoken yet. They run over to his glass chamber and realize that sometime during the past century, a rock fell onto his chamber, leaking the gas and killing him while he was in suspended animation.
Fallen from the top of the cave, cracked the glass, the gas escaped. Mr. Irby has proven my point, however, gentlemen. He's definitely proven my point. The hard way.
How long would it take for such a thing to happen?
A year or 100 years.
Chances are, Mr. de Cruz, that we are now in the year 2061. 2060? Wow. Okay. Now the next step, huh? We load the gold into the truck and take it to the first city we get to, huh?
De Cruz gets excited about the gold he's about to spend, but Mr. Farwell shames him, telling him how shallow he is for not even considering how they were the first people ever to go 100 years into the future, as if it was merely moments.
For the first time in the history of men, we have taken a century and put it in our hip pocket. We've taken a lease on life and outlived our stay. We've had our cake, but we're still going to eat it. It's quite an adventure out there, Mr. de Cruz. Though you're a little insensitive to it, that's quite an adventure. It's a world we've never seen before. A brand new, exciting world that we are going to walk through.
But with gold, Farwell, with $1 million worth of gold.
After the gold is loaded into the vehicle they had preserved in the cave with him, De Cruz tells Brooks he will stay in the back with the gold. Brooks tells him he doesn't trust him with the gold, so he will stay in the back and De Cruz will drive. When Brooks retrieves the water canteen next to where they buried Mr. Irby, De Cruz runs over him with the van. The brakes give out and De Cruz has to jump, making the vehicle fall off a cliff.
Mr. Brooks had a very bad accident.
I keep underestimating you, Mr. de Cruz.
Yeah, well, we'll do it my way now. We'll pack as much as we can, put them in 2 knapsacks, and hit the road.
I can't think of any other alternative at the moment.
After gathering all the gold they can carry, De Cruz and Mr. Farwell make their way to the nearest town. Mr. Farwell is exhausted and has to take a break. That's when he realizes he left his water canteen at the last place they stopped.
My canteen is gone. I must have left it back on the road, the last place we stopped.
De Cruz says he will trade water from his canteen at the price of 1 gold bar for every drink Mr. Farwell takes.
Oh, here's some water. 1 drink, 1 bar of gold. That's the price.
You're out of your mind.
That's the price. 1 drink, 1 bar of gold.
Then, the next day, De Cruz increases the price for 2 bars of gold for a sip of water.
Mr. Farwell, the rate of exchange has gone up a little bit today. It's 2 bars of gold for 1 swallow.
After Mr. Farwell drinks, he strikes De Cruz with a gold bar, killing him. Mr. Farwell is incredibly weak and can only carry 2 bars of gold. He ends up dropping one and doesn't have the strength to pick it up. Soon after, he loses consciousness and collapses. He is awoken when a man is standing over him and pleads with the man to trade his last bar of gold with him so he can take him into town and give him some water. Then, Mr. Farwell dies.
You're gonna have it. You're gonna have it. Drive me to town if you give me water. Gold. It's real gold. You can have it. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
old fellow. I wonder where you came from.
Then, the man that came across Mr. Farwell goes back to his vehicle where his wife is and tells her he had died. Then he remarks on how he must be crazy because of him walking in the desert, how he offered him gold as if it were valuable. His wife asks him, wasn't gold once used for money? And then, the last, this is such a Twilight Zone line, but the last line of the episode is,
He offered this to me as if it was really worth something.
You know, wasn't it worth something once, George? I mean, didn't people use gold for money?
Sure, about 100 years or so ago, before they found a way of manufacturing it.
And that is the conclusion of the Rip Van Winkle Caper. And so what did we learn today? That don't steal from a train or put yourself into a glass casket that fills itself with gas, expecting that in 100 years that the price of gold will have any value. Or maybe I heard someone in the back of the class say that you should probably subscribe to this channel because this guy, Red Alexander Hamilton, put a lot of work into this and he would love to keep making it. You know, who knows? Who knows what the story of this is? I guess it depends on the beholder, the person who viewed the work of art, and the fan of the Twilight Zone that watched this. Have a great night, and I love you. Okay, good night.